I'm Matt Cadner from the Nebo Wealth Team, and welcome to another iteration of our Perfect Fit Portfolio series. The background for today comes from my colleague Andy Finnegan. Andy's the marketing lead for Nebo. He runs the Nebo Wealth LinkedIn site. So if you don't follow Nebo Wealth, please do. It's awesome. He does a tremendous job, not just giving you information on Nebo Wealth, but goals based investing in general. He's also active on social media, financial Twitter, and he follows advisor focused Reddit boards. Now, to be completely honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what the hell a Reddit board is. I kind of have a vague understanding of it, but it is definitely not part of my daily media routine. But Andy showed me this post that I thought was really interesting and sad in some ways as well. So here, the advisor posting this is Joe Burrow. So Joe is fictional. That's Andy's nod to me for growing up in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, of course, is the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is Andy's glorious visage over here. And the comment from the advisor, which is one of the great understatements, is this guy really could have used a financial planner. So the post from the client or person is that the person sold their business for 14 million bucks in 2005, retired at age 52, and 18 years later they're broke, nothing left. Always joke that they bounced their last check, but what a ride. I have no, or at least very few regrets. Go ahead and ask me anything. And so, what I would like to ask this person is, what if you had worked with a financial advisor and followed their advice? What if Nebo would have been around back in 2005? What difference could that have made for you? So to do that, we're going to step this client through the Nebo process. So the client's 52 years of age, longevity of 95, 14 million bucks. I used the rule of 4 to come up with this net withdrawal number of 560,000, so 4% of 14 million, kind of using that kind of traditional metric. Now, this client, whom I'm naming Nick No Regrets, doesn't seem like they are a delayed satisfaction type person. So I'm going to throw $1 million here in the first year of the plan for Nick to uh, hopefully buy a condo, but it sounds like he might blow it having a good time. So these are the cash flows that we're going to use in building the portfolio. Now, the minimum return Nick needs in order to achieve his goal of dying with a zero is 3.1% after taxes, fees, and inflation. And so Nebo's job is to build a portfolio to maximize the likelihood that Nick stays out of the red zone, that Nick's target wealth stays above the black line here. And so if that's his goal, we can build a portfolio optimized to maximize the likelihood that that goal is achieved. And that's what you see here. 41% equity, 20% liquid alts, 12% in short-term bonds, 27% in long-term bonds. If Nick's goals change, his portfolio obviously should change. So if he says, you know what, I am actually going to think about a legacy and try not to blow all my cash. Legacy 4 million bucks. Oops, sorry. A goal of 4 million in positive terms. At legacy, what you'll need to achieve that is a return of 3.5% real. And so, if that is your new goal, your portfolio should adjust accordingly. And so, here you can see that target wealth line shifts up. It's not ending at zero anymore. It's ending at $4 million in real terms, or $11 million in nominal terms. And this is the portfolio that is optimized to achieve that result. Now, going back to his original, this original post. So the issue with Nicky No Regrets here, it's less about his portfolio today. Obviously, today's important portfolio is important, but it's understanding that Nick blew 14 million bucks having a good time. He's got a tremendous memory dividend from that. But how can we help Nick understand some of the implications of his short-term choices relative to his long-term wealth accumulation needs? How can we take that great memory dividend and extend it past age 70 all the way out to the ripe old age of 95? So to do that, we're going to look at some of the Nebo viability testing tools to test the viability of Nick's financial plan. So what I did here is I built a glide path that is customized to Nick's unique needs and circumstances. It's a portfolio, a series of portfolios optimized to minimize shortfall relative to Nick's target return, over his time horizon and with any specific constraints. So here, the only constraints we have is a max in liquid alts of 20%. This is dynamic. It will change next year. It will change the year after that based on Nick's circumstances, as well as the capital changing the capital market assumptions. But it gives us a reasonable estimate of what future portfolios might be. Certainly a better estimate than just assuming you're going to have a static weight in equities or some type of linear combination, and that's not going to change come hell or high water. So from that, we can run our next generation Monte Carlo simulations. And we would argue that these simulations are more accurate than what you see in traditional financial planning tools. And we've written a couple of white papers as to why. So here we can balance long-term probability of success, median wealth, kind of the tails of the distribution versus the drawdowns. Here we have our target wealth path, assuming our cash flows and our target return. In this Monte Carlo simulations, you can see this dark blue line is the median of the simulations. You can see that stays well above this target path. The top and bottom quartiles are the light numbers. So this plan looks pretty good. But we have we have a whole suite of simulation tools. But what I want to focus on is this withdrawal sims. And so what I did is I said, okay, what happens if you spend an additional $250,000 a year in $25,000 increments? And so that's what you see over here. And so today, 83% probability of success. Nick spends an additional 25,000. It starts to fall. Now Nick blew 14 million bucks in 18 years. That's about $780,000 a year. So we could show Nick like, hey, if you want to kind of continue and just want to spend, spend in the way that you have, what does that do in terms of what's the median wealth in that simulation? It's negative. Probability of success, 41%. So you have a pretty good chance of running out of money. This tool helps clients understand short-term implications from either taking too little risk or taking too much risk in terms of return, or specifically here in terms of cash flow. And so Nebo, at its core, one of our most important jobs is to give advisors the best information we can to help clients balance those short-term considerations against the long-term wealth accumulation needs. And Nebo is here to provide the best data that we can in order to do so. So Nicky, no regrets. He sounds like he had a good time, but unfortunately, I think that there were a whole myriad of ways that we could help him extend that memory dividend, certainly well past the age of 70.